Hi everyone, I'm Bella Wang and I live in Shanghai, one of the biggest cities in China. Today, my husband and I are going to look at apartments. We'll be touring 4 different properties. Each one costs around $1 million. And somehow, none of them feels quite right. Our daughter starts kindergarten next year, and for the first time, we are seriously considering buying a home in Shanghai. In China, people sometimes joke that buying a home in a big city takes the savings of 3 families, the young couple and both sets of parents. For some families, though, that's not really a joke. Now we are on our way to the first apartment.
就这里已经卖光了吗？
不多了吧？推灯也说不多。
这还没盖好呢。什么时候交房呀？
About 20 minutes later, we arrive at the sales office. After checking in, a sales representative gives us an overview of the development and the company behind it. Then it's time to see the model apartment. Most new apartments in Shanghai come fully finished. Things like the front door, flooring, cabinets, plumbing, and central air conditioning are usually included. So let's take a look around. This apartment is about 1,100 square feet, with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms.
我发给我家小孩看哈，他今天没来。
然后这个
是什么北饭店？但是你北饭店，你如果之前看过金报的话，你可以感受一下这个房间比它那个房间没有大。它的话应该是不到6米啊，这个房间，你这个交通都是没有啊，对，这个木头房
2个卫生间呢，他。
Most apartments also come with built-in kitchen appliances, including a refrigerator, cooktop, dishwasher, and a range hood.
交付的。
买的就有。
然后这个还有这个。
厨房就是。
然后洗碗机的话在这个位置，这边洗碗机。
洗碗哪边是洗碗机？
往下拉，下拉。
这里是洗碗机。
After showing us the apartment we came to see, the sales representative asks if we'd like to look at a large unit. Of course, we are curious. This one is about 2,000 square feet. The price is around $2 million.
对。
So let's go see what the apartment looks like.
它这边是一个房间，对吧？
哦，这完全感觉不一样。这个阳台，啊，它也包住的吗？
对，是的。
所有的阳台都包住了是吧？
对，我们往里面都要统一样。这个600万。
1600。 这看到这个大房子，那个小房子根本都。哦，这边的厨房也是交付标准是吧，帅哥？
对的。
对的，他这边都是。厨房和卫生间都是。
对，厨房、卫生间都是。
哎，那这边，哦，这边还有一个房间。哦，这里还有一个房间。
你还有个卧室在这儿啊？
对。
那4个房间呢？
Anyway, we are not shopping for a $2 million apartment today, so let's get back to reality. Next, we take a look at some of the building's amenities. There's an indoor gym and an indoor swimming pool. These kinds of facilities have become quite common in newer developments in Shanghai. After that, we head back to a sales office. The sales representative shows us which units are still available. Then we start talking about numbers. How much would need for a down payment? How much the monthly mortgage would be? And how much we'd end up paying over the years. That's usually the moment when our apartment stops feeling like a home and starts feeling like a financial decision. Back in the car, we talk about what we've just seen. The apartment itself isn't bad. The nearby park is beautiful, but there's still the waste processing facility nearby. And then there's the price. People keep saying housing prices have fallen off the past few years. But staying there, it still feels incredibly expensive. Next, we drive about 20 minutes to the second development. This area is farther from the city.
那个叫什么？鸟笼。
对。
As we arrive, we notice that many of the surrounding buildings are still under construction. There are plans for a large shopping complex nearby, along with several office buildings. The neighborhood is still developing, but that's also part of the appeal. Once again, we check in and get an overview of the project.
43%吧，基本一半是建筑物，一半是绿化。然后呢，我们现在主要卖的话是马路对面这个叫 TOD 这个产品 ，TOD 理解吧？往北走20米可以到商场。这边的话，
Most residential communities in China are gated. The buildings share private outdoor spaces. Now, let's take a look at the border apartment. One thing that stands out right away is the kitchen. It's designed as an open kitchen, which has become increasingly popular in newer developments. But for many Chinese families, open kitchens aren't always practical. A lot of Chinese cooking involves stir-frying over high heat, which can create quite a bit of smoke. That's why this apartment includes sliding glass doors. When they're closed, the kitchen becomes a separate space. Anyway, let's keep exploring. This room shares a balcony with a living room. Just like the first apartment, the total living space is around 1,100 square feet. By the way, quite a few people asked me in a previous video why Chinese kitchens often don't have ovens. Because we don't bake much bread or dessert at home. Most meals are cooked on the stovetop instead.
这个是主卧。
这个是主卧。对，这边是主卧。主卧带个别墅。
那宝宝到时候宝宝就住这个房间。
他住这个小的。
他住这个
房间。
这个房间空间怎么感觉大一点？
他110啊。
哦，
你看。
厨房那位开放式收房。是因为的话也叫价格便宜一点。如果是买拼套的话，也到740，但是高区无所谓的，因为你楼现在很高了嘛。
After touring the model apartment, the sales representative shows us the units that are still available. Unfortunately, the apartments around 1,100 square feet are almost sold out. The only used left are on the 24th floor and above, but less of us is a big fan of living that high up. This apartment is the least expensive one we've seen today, but it's also the farthest from the city. My husband still works downtown, and over time, non-commutes come with a cost of their own. Sometimes you pay with money, sometimes you pay with time. Next, we head to the third apartment. Unlike the previous one, this development is back in the city. As we are driving there, one thing immediately catches our attention: the elevated highway. The project is still under construction, and at first, it's hard to imagine there is even a sales office hidden somewhere inside.
啊，我看到你们了。
哦，这个你知道，还能开门进来的。它的面积多大的？103。小一点90。
Just like previous developments, we check in and get a brief introduction to the project. The subway station is about a 5-minute walk away, and the price is very similar to the other apartments we've seen today. So let's take a look around. The layout feels familiar. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and about 1,100 square feet of living space. So let's go see what the apartment looks like.
哦，这边是厨房。
这栋就是我们之前那个横厅的，现在的那个就是把这个地方变成一堵墙，然后这个地方放大变成了房间。
原来的对啊，这里有个房间。
这个地方啊，变成房间了，放大。
这边是主哦，现在这边有一个北房间，对不对？
对，这个是有北房间的。
到了之后呢，这边就做成卫生间。
卫生间嘛，2个卫生间，然后这边是厨房，旁边是墙壁。它就是把动和静一南一北全部分开了。
这边是主卧。
家里是没有空调和地暖的，所以你手摸一些墙壁啊，墙壁是凉的啊。以后它是通过墙壁来查找温度的。
冬天600到800是吧？
差不多。
夏天300到500。
现在有的房型就是这个3面朝南的。
The big question is, what's happening outside? The highway is only a short distance away. The developer has installed lousy barriers along the road, and with the windows closed, it's quiet. But once the windows are open, you can hear the traffic.
就尾盘的都这种的。
反正他们也是一套人包。是的。
The fourth and final apartments bring us to another neighborhood in the city.
4环环线，中环目前新房价格呢都是10万加10到13万卖。比方说我这个房子以后我不住了，首先要考虑它要能留得了。
Unlike some of the other developments we've visited today, this one is already complete. So now, let's go take a look at the apartment.
交付标准是这样的，是吧？
对的。3开一个房间朝北，就是我们是一个正气的3房，就是你如果说想要一个3房2卫的产品，换内面积一定要大于75平，因为比75平要小的话，你北面有房间可以满足。当然，我们一个是跟。 这个是你去任何一个项目中间套都是有这个问题，就北房间会有个长垛在这里。我们边套的话就是。
After spending the day working through sales office and constructions, it feels nice to see a place that's already becoming a real community. One of the biggest advantages here is that the apartments are move-in ready. There's no need to wait until next year. If we decide to buy one, we could start planning our move almost immediately. The location is also convenient. The subway station is only about a 5-minute walk away. So far, so good. But as always, there is a catch. Most of the lower and middle floors have already been sold. The only units still available are on the 20th floor and above.
21楼以下一套没有，中间套的话。
Back in the car, we try to make sense of everything we've seen today.
19平看起来跟100多平的要大，100零几。是在中环边上还是在哪里？中环边上。中环边上。什么时候开盘的？
Maybe we will buy a new apartment. Maybe we will look at second-hand homes. Maybe we will decide to move a little farther from the city. We honestly don't know yet. We'll still figure that out. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, and I will see you in the next video.